Oh, that's so interesting. Oh, hello there. My name's Frida Kelly, and welcome to Chemistry Cakes, and welcome to my kitchen. Today, we'll be making Haitian cake. Moving on, we're gonna cream our 4 sticks of butter. So, when we cream these 4 sticks of butter, a physical change occurs, and the air is beat into these 4 sticks of butter, and it makes them fluffy, and this attributes to the fluffiness of the cake, because we don't want our cake dense, and we want to get as much air as we can into each thing, an ingredient, and it makes it into a homogeneous mixture. While this is mixing, you're going to add your sugar to make a homogeneous mixture where it is thorough throughout. It is same. Just not going to want to do it all at once, just slowly but surely, like a turtle. So, what you got to do now is stiffen the eggs. So, by stiffening the eggs, you take your handy dandy nifty thrifty gadget here, you push up and down, get your air molecules in these egg whites, and the egg whites serve as a structure, and they hold the air molecules, so when the cake is cooking, it'll hold, so it won't just disperse when the heat is applied to the system in an endothermic reaction. Keep pumping away here. Get a little workout for your triceps and your biceps. Gotta get that summer body. And don't be frustrated if it takes a long time, because it will, and if you don't have your handy dandy nifty thrifty thing, well, I don't know what to say. As you can see, the volume has increased or tripled in volume. So it's nice and fluffy like a cloud. So you just want to put your whole face in it. On to the next step. Now we're adding the 6 egg yolks to the mixture to make sure that it's homogeneous. You're going to want to let it set before you add any lemons, so the acid-base neutralization can occur. Now we're going to add our lemon juice to the mixture. Now this is an acid-base neutralization process, where the acid from the lemons and the base from the yolks react together, so it neutralizes out. So when it's cooking, it is cooked thoroughly. So now we're going to alternately add our Haitian rum, our vanilla extract, our milk, and our almond extract, alternately with the flour and baking powder. Now, by adding it alternatively, it just ensures that it is thoroughly mixed. And now we're going to add the stiff egg whites into our homogeneous mixture. Ooh, looks beautiful. And now we are done. Oh, look at how beautiful and smooth it is. Like velvety and beautiful. Ah, love. And then we're gonna move over here to our flour and grease pans to reduce surface tension, because that's not what we want here. Oof, let's get cooking. Now that we have our pans all laid out in a beautiful symmetrical line, we are now going to distribute our beautiful homogeneous batter into these fine pans. I'm going to start with these cake liners. yeah, I see. And I like using ice cream scooper because, you know, even though you have a little dribble here and there, you know, it never hurt nobody. You can always wipe it off. Pro tip right there. Lemon square. Now that we're waiting for our cake to bake, let's look in here and recap of what we've done. Alright, let's recap. So our first step was creaming the parquet sticks. A physical change occurs when the 4 sticks of parquet are creamed, making it fluffy and more airy than its original state. Air pockets in the parquet attribute to the lightness of the cake. By adding sugar and mixing well, right here, it makes it a homogeneous mixture. After adding the yolks of the 6 eggs, right here, and the juice from the lemon acid base neutralization occurs, and the acid from the lemon and the base from the yolks undergo a chemical reaction where the proteins are denatured, creating a more balanced mixture with a balanced like pH. This balance between the yolk and the lemon will be important because when the yolks are cooked to serve as a structure for the cake, that's why it's important. If the relationship is skewed of the cake, the foundation will ultimately be flawed. When the cook separately mixes the dry and the liquid, a physical change occurs, making it a homogeneous mixture where it is the same throughout. Then we go on to the sifted flour that acts as a filtration to ensure that the chunks of flour are singled out. And in this dry mixture, we have 4 tablespoons of baking powder, which is a combination of base and dry acid baking. Right here, it shows when the cook separately mixes the liquids, a physical change occurs, making it a homogeneous mixture where it is the same throughout. So in our dry mixture right here, we have sifted flour, and by sifting it is the process of filtration to ensure the chunks of flour are singled out. And then also in the dry mixture is 4 tablespoons of baking powder. Baking powder is basically a combination of a base and a dry acid. It undergoes a chemical reaction when the liquid is added to the equation. These 2 ingredients react with each other, producing carbon dioxide bubbles. These bubbles will help the cake rise. It's important that the mixture is not overmixed to avoid stirring out the bubbles, so the cake will be flat and dense. Here, whites of the eggs are then mixed in. They're essentially beaten because we want as much air bubbles as we can, so the proteins are basically unfolded within it, making it easier for the bubbles to easily hold the fluffy structure of the cake when baking. Then we add the salt, which not only boosts the flavor, but it also strengthens the soft fat and sugar because the process of starting Then we add 1/8 teaspoon of salt that not only boosts the flavor, but it also strengthens soft fat and sugar mixtures. Incorporating steps 3 and 4 alternatively is necessary because the process of starting and ending with dry homogeneous ingredients establishes a thoroughly combined homogeneous batter through physical changes you can see here. Then our final step is putting our batter in our greased and floured pans, which reduces surface tension. In this endothermic reaction where the heat is being applied to the batter, this system triggers multiple chemical reactions and formations. In that time frame, the yolks of the eggs act as a binder for the cake, and the air in the egg whites holds bubbles in the dough without collapsing. The baking powder releases CO2 bubbles. Milk proteins rich in lysine, an amino acid, produces the color when reacting with the sugars in an endothermic reaction. This is also maybe known as the Maillard reaction. Then, after your cake has been sitting there for 40 to 45 minutes in a 350
right setting, you could take it out and enjoy it and maybe read your magazine. Like so. That's important too.